welcome on back in. Call It a Night is calling it a Super Bowl. We are here in Miami, Florida. We're at the Miami Convention Center, Radio Row. This is a place where all the best names, the biggest names in sports, entertainment, and media will be milling around this week, and we are so fortunate to be joined by Lofa Tatupu, a three-time Pro Bowler, former Seattle Seahawk, who is now on the other side of the microphone essentially right now. You said this is your first Radio Row. What are your initial reactions of what's going on?
I mean, it's a lot, and I just mentioned earlier how hard all these individuals work. Shout out to you, your whole team. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, everyone here is doing a lot of work to bring you this interview right now. And Lofa, we know that you played in the 2006 Super Bowl for Seattle against Pittsburgh. When you were at the Super Bowl, what's this week like? This is airing on Tuesday night. What would you be doing Tuesday of Super Bowl week?
It's chaotic, that whole prep for that week, and then you got your family in there with the tickets and everything, and then the media. It's just it starts to build up and more, and all that you're trying to prepare for a game. So you can imagine trying to stay in the moment was tough, when you're getting pulled in every direction. But I'm excited about this matchup. Can't wait to watch it.
I feel like if I knew I had to play in a Super Bowl in front of 50 million people, more than that, I would have a hard time going to sleep. How do you just manage those nerves?
Well, that's true. I mean, I didn't have CBD back then.
Yeah, there we go.
So, just stay in the moment and, try to stick to your routine, even though as wild as everything is, just you have, the time where, when everything's regimented from the time you wake up, go watch film, eat, and then, you just get to bed, shut the phone off and leave the world
Easier
behind.
said than done, I'm sure. Although different in that time, you didn't have to worry about Twitter and all that kind of stuff, right?
Social media wasn't as big back then.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing because, unfortunately, you lost that Super Bowl. For all of us who would never even understand that feeling, what's it like?
Well, I guess it's good that social media wasn't there to remind me because they do a good job of that. It was, when I reflect back on it, it's more just about the journey and, that incredible season, the whole city bringing it together. And that's where the 12s made a name for themselves, getting all those false start penalties against the Giants and, just having a real direct impact on the game. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. I love all my teammates and the coaches that we had that year. It was a real brotherhood.
Yeah, and speaking of teammates and coaches, you were also an assistant linebackers coach with Seattle. Richard Sherman was on the team when you were there. You see him now playing for the Niners. What's something that would surprise us about what type of player in person he is?
I think the person, because what you see. I love, Richard, he pops off, and I love that, because he is himself, and he's genuine, and, he's well-spoken. But, what was surprising is how much he cares about the man next to him and his teammates. And in the community, you see all the work that he does, in charitable, organizations. He is a phenomenal human being.
And he has been defending his quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, in the media this week. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. We got Patrick Mahomes. Who would you want to go up against?
Well, I had this question earlier. Definitely wouldn't want to go up against either of them. I'm not going to take the politically correct answer here, but can't hit quarterbacks anymore.
Yes.
So, it's no fun going against those guys. But Mahomes and that no-look pass, I don't know how you defend it. So that's the guy I'm going to choose not to go up. No offense, Jimmy G. I think you're phenomenal. Keep doing your thing. But, yeah, Mahomes, no thank you.
Yeah, he is pretty stealth with a lot of those passes. Now, speaking of guys that have retired this year, I know you retired at 30. We've seen Andrew Luck. We've seen Luke Kuechly recently calling it a night, essentially. What do you think of guys, starting to maybe retire a bit earlier than normal?
I think they're, looking to, the older generations is what's gone on in the past and, did people leave the game when they should have, or when they did they make the right decision in terms of staying too long? And so I take my hat off to them. They're phenomenal job of having that talk with themselves, which is hard to have, and their family, and largely coming to the conclusion that they're ready to move on in life.
I know I read a good piece by Bruce Feldman in The Athletic on you and just how the pain was so difficult, right? When you're playing, you had a hard time, even just working out or going to sleep. What do you think the NFL could do in terms of improving pain management for players?
Well, they talked about NFL and NFLPA are going to get together and talk about CBD as a pain management substitute, compared to the anti-inflammatories and the opioids that are prescribed. And that, it'll go a long way. It's going to put a better product on the field, which I know they're concerned about, and, a better product in the community. And, I'm excited because we're going to see guys have longer careers, leave the game in a great mind place and flourish after ball.
Yeah, because so you're working with ZoneIn CBD. Yeah, there we go. Get the
Get the
plug
plug
out
right
there.
there.
I've never tried CBD, but after reading your bio and your one sheet and all that stuff, I'm like, man, this seems like just a remedy for everything.
I feel like I could go back out there and play. And I mean, I'm in probably one of the best shapes I've ever been, which, sad compared because, I used to get paid to work out.
Yeah.
And so now just naturally being able to take care of myself and make the right decision, what I eat, my sleep regimen, and, daily workout, it's, those are faces, consequences or, situations we're faced with every day that people don't always do the right thing, right? It's easy to grab that burger or do something, and, I've just slowly compiled a good regimen that works for me, changed my complete lifestyle. And from the cognitive aspect, this is where, everyday people, that's why we call it, zone in, being in the zone or flow state, positive psychology, totally immersed in the moment. And there's a lot that goes into the logo and, and thought.
Right.
This has been in the making for 3 years now, and so I'm excited about it.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't play in the NFL, pro athlete of any sort, or, you're just a retired track athlete like me or whatnot, you feel it, right? You start to get older, my hips clicking when I get up in the morning. I'm like, all right, maybe I should take care of my body a bit better.
Yeah.
I'll CBD.
I'll send some to you.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Perfect.
This is perfect, working out well. All right, well, before we let you go, I know you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. We want to play a little game. It's one of my faves, one of our faves on the show. If you've ever played Mad Libs before.
I have not.
Okay, great. Well, this is a teachable moment for me.
Right?
So
I feel like I'm getting set up for failure.
No.
here.
So you can't lose in Mad Libs, actually.
Okay.
You always win. So what we're going to do is, when you're a player, you hear trash talking, you hear chirping from the fans or from opponents. Well, sometimes they're like really ridiculous and crazy, and you hear it and you're like, wait, what did you guys just say? Well, we have a game called Chirp in the Blank. And so I'm going to ask you to just give me a couple different people, places, things, and then we're going to put it into a chirp, trash talking, and then you're going to read it to camera, and we will see if this works. Okay. Tell me the name of an animal, any animal.
Frog.
Frog. Okay. Next up, place kids go.
School, I hope.
School, yeah. And finally, something small.
Water bottle.
Yeah, that's relatively small
I saw one over there.
compared to an NFL linebacker. Okay, so we're going to have you read this trash talking chirp our producer Mike is giving to you. So what we want you to do is read this, like, basically to the camera, okay?
Oh, I'm talking trash to Pat Mahomes?
Yeah.
I love Pat Mahomes. Okay. Hey, Patrick Mahomes. You look like a hairless baby frog. You don't belong in the NFL. You should be under adult supervision at a school. I guess that wouldn't sound that bad. Grow up, you little water bottle.
Hey, what a chirp. Man, take that, Patrick Mahomes.
Hope that hurt your feelings.
Grow up, you water bottle. See, you always win. You always win with Mad Libs.
That wasn't that bad.
It's good.
It
It's
wasn't
good.
that bad.
Lofa Tatupu, of course, 3-time Pro Bowler for the Seattle Seahawks. And guys, we have so much more to come from Radio Row. Don't go anywhere. It's Call It a Night, and we're calling it a Super Bowl. Hey everyone, JSB here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Fubo Sports on YouTube, or else I guess you could watch puppy videos. That sounds good.